G'day all, number one Machop fan here, finally back with another episode of Machop's Musings. I've had to spend the past year or so away from YouTube because I've been going through major issues with mental health. But with a new generation having been announced, hopefully we can get ourselves a new start. Today I will be looking at the latest Pokémon games to be announced for the Nintendo Switch, Pokémon Sword and Pokémon Shield. Let's begin. These two games will be based in the Galar region, or being Australian as I like to call it, the Galar region, based on one of our animals. Unfortunately for me, the Galar, up to you, region is not based on Australia. Instead, it is based on England and Scotland, not even the entire UK. Oh, those poor Welsh and Irish. I can see the letters of complaint rushing in from here already. At this point, we still don't know too much about the upcoming games. We're still in our early stages. Basically, all we know are the region, the Galar region, and the new starters, who are Grookey, Scorbunny, and Sobble. Basically, your standard grass, fire, water starters. Grookey appears to be based on some sort of monkey, I couldn't tell you which. Scorbunny appears to be based on a sporty bunny rabbit, who is totally a very original design if you look at that artwork. And Sobble appears to be based on some sort of tadpole, because they totally haven't done that before. Though, to be fair, the tadpole was how Pokemon began, when Satoshi Tajiri used to collect tadpoles and the like when he was a bub. I don't really know too much about these starters because it's so early stage, so I haven't really decided entirely which starter I would start with, but at this point, I am leaning towards starting with Scorbunny. It stands out the most to us, not because this one pose reminds me so much of my overall favourite starter, cute little Chimchar, but because it reminds me so much of another fictional character from a 90s computer game series I was into, Jazz Jackrabbit. I don't know if Scorbunny's meant to be based on a jackrabbit, but it's a hyperactive, fast-looking, powerful-looking rabbit. So it's nostalgic, really. So if I was to start with Scorbunny, I would call it Jazz after this. Or Lori if it's a girl. What are the odds of that? 1 in 8? Now, what can we expect from Pokémon Sword, Pokémon Shield? Nobody knows. The stage is so early that we don't even know the difference between the two. At all. We don't know exclusive Pokémon, we don't know exclusive anything. They're exactly the same from what we see so far. So, everything on this page is pure speculation and cannot be taken as face value. Though it'll nonetheless be awesome to see how many I told you so's we're going to get out of this. Okay, so first of all, gyms. Gyms we do know from the trailer. The trailer's on the Pokémon Sword and Shield mini site. I'll link it in the description below. It does state that gyms are back. It seems the Island Challenge wasn't very popular. Too bad, because it was an interesting change. It'll be interesting to see what they do with Z Crystals going forward as well as Mega Stones. And who knows what they're going to introduce in this generation. You'd think there'll be some sort of equivalent to Mega Stones and Z Crystals and the like, but no idea. I remember from the trailer, soccer was shown to be a recurring theme, so we could see a lot of that going forward. Maybe we could even see super training, because back in Generation 6 in Kalos, soccer was the theme around super training, and I really do hope it comes back, because super training as a form of effort training was fantastic. And unfortunately, Alola, Generation 7 Sun Moon, didn't really come up with anything nearly as good. I don't think it even tried, did it? Even the old feathers from Generation 5, did we see them? I don't think we did. One thing I'm beginning to wonder about, we could start seeing more Pokemon that have multiple forms, like an offensive form or a defensive form kind of thing. Excuse me. Thinking back, in Pokken, I remember Machamp had an extra form which was kind of Mega Evolution, but kind of wasn't. where it was basically souped up, coloured, and much more powerful. And I do wonder if maybe we'll see something similar going forward. Indeed, I kind of feel like we need some sort of love for Machamp, and I don't say that because its beginning form Machop is my favourite Pokemon, as much as I yearn for cute little Machop to be back in the Pokedex once again, and for this to not be another Unova, which didn't have them at all. But Machamp was part of a group of 4 Pokemon from Generation 1, all of which were trained to evolve. The other 3 have all gotten love. Golem got an Alolan form, and Gengar and Alakazam, who round out that group, both got Mega Evolutions, but Machamp has nothing. This will be a good chance for Machamp to actually get something and get that equality against the other 3 Pokemon in its group. Indeed, we have plenty of options for that. For example, if we went with the offensive-defensive forms, Machamp could do that. Okay, so this is just the same thing but in red, but that's probably all you need. If you've ever played the Game Boy Color version of The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening, which I have, there's an exclusive color-themed dungeon. If you win it, spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert, you are gifted with the power of color. If you turn red, you get super strength that allows you to slam opponents right across the screen and basically blow them up. Or you could get the color of blue, which was my preference because I like blue better than red or green, which allows you to half the damage you take. I could see that happening quite comfortably in Sword and Shield, but maybe not in that order. Because if you look at the very beginning of my presentation, Pokemon Sword is blue and attack themed, Pokemon Shield is red and defense themed. So if they're going to do it the same way as Link's Awakening, they'll do it in reverse. They'll make blue the offensive color and red the defensive color. But that could work. Even with existing Pokemon like Machamp, they could give us alternate forms with red for the defense, with blue for the attack. Quite comfortably. We saw Alolan variants of Kanto Pokemon, and only Kanto Pokemon, in Generation 7. I wouldn't be the least bit surprised if that continued into Generation 8. If we had second generation Pokemon having Galar variants, and I could definitely see a potential for a Galar variant of Ledian, Noctowl, Ariados, stuff like that. Maybe they'll actually become competitively competent. Because currently they're completely useless in any form of competitive Pokemon not called NU. And even that, I question. And I'll admit, I have no experience with anything lower than OU or VGC. They're the only areas I've ever focused on, so if you disagree with me, leave a comment below. I could use a good blasting. And one more thing we could look into, and this is something I've been yearning for since Generation 4, since Sinnoh. The ability to modify your player's height and weight. I mentioned the Sinnoh games in particular because they had an option where you could compare your height and your player's height and weight with any Pokemon you see or capture. But the size and weight you were given were preset and were focused around you being 10 and staying 10 no matter how old your save file is. I have Pokemon Diamond, and that still has a save file from 2007. Nearly 12 years old now. And that kid is still 10. Obvious, but Ash Ketchum syndrome. And it really doesn't work. You should be able to determine your height and weight at the start of the game, and possibly change it as you go, so you can grow your character as you grow. That would be a really awesome feature. And even in the interim, it's better adapted to adults. Surely by now, Game Freak and Nintendo know that adults play Pokemon. Just look at the video game channel. Just look at me! I'm an adult, even if I don't behave like one. I am physically an adult. And I have the 6-foot size of an adult. And I'm as fat as one as well, at least. So, and I would love to be able to compare the size of Pokemon to an adult human. So I'd love to see that happen in Sword and Shield. That would be bloody awesome. And yeah, that basically wraps it up for our first look. We're obviously going to get a lot more stuff coming up. I could do a bit more Machop's Musings in the future, focusing on them. But I can tell you that I do have plans for another Machop's Musings that's been in the works for ages, but on hold because of my mental health problems. But it should be up, ideally tomorrow, by which I mean the day after this one's gone up, whenever that'll be. Anyway, ramble over. That's enough from me. Thank you very much for your time. If you liked it, leave a like. If you didn't like it, leave a dislike and tear me to shreds in the comments. I'm open to feedback. It has been ages since last I did this. I am rusty, I could use the feedback. Anyway, thank you very much. Love you all. See you next time.